Hello gamers, this is Zelx here, and today I present my day 1 list for Worlds Beyond. Well, technically it's day 2 now, but this is the deck list I've been running to great degrees, varying degrees of success I mean. But it features 2 Aria Lady of the Woods and 1 Killer Rhinoceros plus 1 Amata's Origin Blader. It's pretty budget, well, excluding the legendaries. Aria is pretty essential to this deck, but you probably don't need to run more than 2 of it. And Amatas isn't as necessary. You would rather have like 2 other copies of Killer Rhinoceros and 2 other copies of Godwood Staff. But overall, this list runs decent enough for me to climb to D3 without major problems. If you want to interested in this list, well, QR code is there, you can check it out for yourself, but I'll just quickly go over what the most major cards. So major card number 1, Glade Fragrant Wood Ward. This card is incredible going first or second. First of all, it draws you 2 cards, and it also wipes a board at a spec by sending only 1 evolve point. This can very easily net you a 3 for 1 or even a 2 for 1. It's just an incredible value, and overall it helps you dig for your win conditions, either Aria or Killer Rhinoceros. 1 of each is fine, but ideally you will get both. If you can get both, you have so much easier time winning the game. Then once again, Aria, you only ideally want to see 1 copy of her, but if you draw both, it's not that bad. She gives you a crest that gives all Fairy Storm, which then you can combine with Twinkle Toes here to buff up all your fairies that you played into 2/2s, which can go face for a surprising amount of burst. Then there's Killer Rhinoceros, the goal that I did not get enough copies of, but it's really good. It's a win condition. If there's a budget list that I'm running, I will definitely run Killer Rhinoceros. You can combine this card with bouncers like Bug Alert, as well as Godwood Staff, provided you played this the previous turn, to go face for maybe even anywhere from 2 to 10 damage. And lastly, you should pay attention to Erin Crystallium Frostward. Not that great if you are in the early game, but in the late game, if you're trying to stall out the game a little bit longer, she's incredible when you can use her to get rid of a super evolve follower. And I just find her nice to have around if you can get a chance to play her do. And that is basically for this deck. It's really simple deck. You gather fairies, you find one of your key pieces, and then you start going face for a lot of damage. So yes, that's about it for this deck intro. I hope if you're new to the channel, do leave a like, leave a subscribe for future deck videos just like this. If there's any deck you want me to showcase, do let me know in the comments down below. And yes, without further ado, let's get right on to the gameplay. So first up, I have a game against Portalcraft here. Portalcraft, as of this point in time, either runs the Artifact package or the Puppet package. Neither of which are actually good for us, but one key thing to... Okay, wait. Let me hide this. I didn't know that was a thing. But one key thing to remember about artifacts is that you barely ever manage to keep able to keep a board against them. So what you should do is to take as many damage against their face as possible, push as much damage as possible, and look for your storm win conditions. Cards like Aria or cards like Killer Rhinoceros, otherwise you cannot reliably win. So yes, you can see they decide to go face here. As a puppet portal, not puppet, this artifacts portal, what they should focus on is clearly clearing my board, because their win con is always usually at turn 10. They don't barely win before that unless they play Raumia. So you don't usually have to worry about that. You just have to keep on pushing damage again and again until you make sure they are within your little range. So another good card here that I didn't mention in the intro is actually Glade Crystallian Innocence. This card can help you get rid of 1 big follower without using an evolve point if you can combo with a fairy. So she is definitely a card you might want to pay attention to, especially if we need a more control matchup for like like Haven for swords. Also, this Lambent kind, this card is actually ridiculously good for since he just gives +1/+1 to basically any follower you play, so it's just great. And as you can see, Glade Fragrant here is showing why he's the GOAT. 9 damage split across the board. I could easily get rid of even an additional follower there, and just use the extra 1 play point because it's gonna refresh next turn anyways. But yes, this card is really good. Run 3 or copies of him if possible in any Forest Craft deck. It's just so good. And yes, they got a Gamma, but that doesn't matter. We already got Aria, which is one of our win conditions. Getting her on time is almost crucial, but if you don't see her, don't worry about it. Your win rate might have gone down drastically, but it's not impossible for you to win after all. Why did I not use Limbang Karen? I just decided not to. There's no really good reason to use it, to be frank, but you know, I rather use it when I'm certain I have lethal. It's not, I don't want to usually see a point of using it early unless I'm sure it brings me above a strength hit point for any specific cut. So yes, going to turn 7, we got another Glade, but this time I turn, which you know obviously I play because I want to look for Rhinoceros. Rhinoceros is ridiculously good, but here I didn't find him, so I just push damage with fairies. These Storm Fairies are ridiculously annoying, especially if you can constantly ping your opponent and get them down. And yes, as you can see, our opponent is forced to clear and heal, back up to 14. They didn't have Raumia, which is a key reason why I'm still in this game. If they played Raumia, it would have been a lot more difficult for me to win. But as of now, we are in quite an even spot. I rebounced this Limbang Kane because, well, I need cards to play and I wanted the extra Deep Blue Bounty just in case I do draw Roach. Still no Raumia, which is incredible to me. Like, just gonna give you an idea of what I might do if they did play Raumia. Right? I would have done a Erin play. Erin I would targeted one of the healing guy, and I would have run it into the, believe the face damage. The board wipe guy, because the board wipe has the most damage. Those would have been the 2 cards I have gone after, but here you see, as you see, it's fine. I just use it to get rid of the Super Evolve follower, and now since they don't have a Super Evolve, Erin is now a lot more annoying to deal with. They cannot just fuse into Omega and go face because Erin is at 8 hit points. She'll go down to 3, but not enough to die to Masterwork Artifact Omega. So now it's basically do or die. I basically have 1 turn, but I did draw my out, which is Fey Tinkertoes. Fey Tinkertoes combined with a Bounce can basically buff any one of your guys by turn all your fairies into +3/+3, which is really strong. As you can see, I did the with a baby Carbuncle, but you can also do it with the Bug Alert. And this is with a Super Evolve that I've been saving all this time to use as a finisher. This is way more than enough damage to go for game.
I'm still incomplete.
The previous games were with Aria only, so I hope I can show you a game where I draw Roach and also a game where I draw both. So yes, this second game we are up against Dragon. This one was I drew Aria in my opening hand, so that is really good for me. As you know, Aria is really good. Just get it as a win condition. So naturally with Aria now next, what we want to do now is to just, you know, get the fairies, prepare, push for lethal, right? Of course, Fairy Tamer on 2 generate 2 fairies. It doesn't really matter we take damage from Dragon early, since, well, they're typically a slow end deck, so you only have to worry once you reach like a certain health threshold at a certain turn, for example. So yes, I don't want to take too much damage from Dragon. 1 hit is usually more than enough, and since I don't see Glade in my hand, just using this play point early is fine enough just to make sure I continue to have tempo. So once again, I did it here, played 2 fairies just in case I draw a Glade next turn so I don't overdraw. He got popped off with a Calamity Sphere, but honestly I wasn't expecting my board to survive anymore there, so that was perfectly fine with me. And here I set up Limbang Karen. This card is a lot better than I thought it was gonna be, but hey, you never expect it, right? Just give me an allied for the +1/+1, but turn 6 Super Evolve turn comes around, and of course we buff up our follow that could attack, and then Super Evolve Aria. The reason why I did this is because I just saw them use their bot white removal, and it is unlikely they have another one, but if they do, I'm willing to play into it. This is a fair bit of damage as well, and if they cannot answer this, I'll be really happy. And they did answer it, but with Burn Knight, which doesn't turn out to be that great of a card honestly, but you know, I'm not upset having to deal with this. And you see the power of Lily here, because Lily is my choice to how to deal with this Burn Knight without you spending evolve points. As you can see right here, Lily choose this, and then basically I trade off without even using my Lily. I did use Lily's evolve here to try and draw to look for my win conditions, either Roach or Fairy Twinkle Toes, but they go for Genesis Dragon Reborn. Very confident that they can just storm me down and not lose here, but apparently failing to consider that I have more than enough damage with the Super Evolve, as well as the extra bounce with my deck. I mean, I guess if he just countered 2 fairies, he would be like, ah, it's perfectly safe, but no. I have a bounce. Bouncers as is. Don't forget about bouncers, which cleanly cleans up this game for an exact lethal.
A journey of 1,000 miles.
What is really funny, I had all the clips ready, but I just found this game which was literally perfect to showcase one of the lines that I want, the more or less perfect game to show the true power of this deck, when you can have drawn everything you ever want in a Forestcraft game. But yes, this is up against Abyss, which, spoiler alert, I don't really think is that good right now in the meta, so take this with a grain of salt. This might as well just be a steamroll, but we did open Killer Rhinoceros. A bit later down the line, I will open probably like, I think an Aria. Yes, Aria. If you argue why I didn't play Armatas there, I wasn't, I wanted more value of him, so I didn't, and I played right into Apollo, which I wasn't expecting Abyss to be running, to be honest. And yeah, decided to do this quick line to do this much damage. I forgot to trade this in because I've got the evolve effect of Apollo. Honestly, although you should play around him a lot more, but I keep failing to. So that's entirely on me for not playing to that, but thank God. Thankfully, I have an Armatas here to help me fight back on board. 5 fairies in hand. Theoretically, you should kill one of them, but with an even split, it doesn't kill anyone, so I got rid of the biggest guy there. Honestly, maybe thinking back, maybe the 5-5 that draws 2 isn't that bad considering the state of Abyss is in right now, but it doesn't really matter. I did find Aria, but don't play on 6 accidentally because you don't get the Super Evolve, which is such a huge value loss if you couldn't do so. So, I mean, you could play her on 6 and then you go into something else on turn 7, but currently I don't have that good of a play anyway, so I want to save her for the Super Evolve. But yes, sort of doing setup on turn 6, you can see I played Lambent Clan, got the Deep Wood Bounty for Killer Rhinoceros, and also this amulet will pop itself just in time for me to summon Aria, Lady of the Woods. With Aria here, I can easily clear this Mukan without taking a second point of damage, and also buff out one of the fairies, leaving room to play another fairy to go face for a astounding damage of 6, which is decent. It's decent from a one turn played on the curve, and they play a Medusa because they clearly wasn't, which is clearly the wrong move because you should be expecting a Killer Rhinoceros every single turn if you're facing a forest. Always play around Rhinoceros. It's a very deadly card. So yes, play all the fairies. As you can see, they all have Storm thanks to Aria, and then play the Roach. You could even argue the Roach wasn't necessary here, but no, the fairies aren't even necessary here, but they did push the enough damage for me to finish the game off with Roach. So yes. So quickly going back to the deck list, after you saw all those games, you maybe want to try this deck out for yourself, but you couldn't afford it because of the current economy in Shadowverse Worlds Beyond, that's perfectly fine. You could consider cutting Amada's Origin Blader. He's not as essential to do this deck as the rest, but it is a very good card nonetheless, and probably adding 1 or 2 copies of Killer Rhinoceros as well as Godwood Staff. These cards are very good. Godwood Staff, more for the Killer Rhinoceros. Killer Rhinoceros should be your priority, and then followed by Godwood Staff. If you have Glade or Lily, run them. They're very helpful for maintaining board presence, and you don't really necessarily need more than 2 copies of Arya. I think this balance is actually surprisingly good. You don't draw both as necessarily often, but there are scenarios where you don't draw her, but in which case hopefully you have more than enough Killer Rhinoceros to help you close out games. And it's a fairly budget list as well, in my opinion. Definitely worth a shot if you enjoy combo style gameplay styles. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you do, leave a like and a subscribe. And yes, thanks for watching.